Aniko samita sada Paramano savigaya Nilamakya brahmoyata Maitreya vacha Maitreya said, Charama, ultimate, Sat, effect, Visheshanam, symptoms, Anika, innumerable, Asamyuta, unmixed, Sada, always, Parama Anu, atoms, Saha, that, Vigaya, should be understood, Nrinam, of men, Aikya, oneness, Brahma, mistaken, Yata, from which. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The material manifestation's ultimate particle, which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the atom. It exists always as an invisible identity, even after the dissolution of all forms. The material body is but a combination of such atoms, but it is misunderstood by the common man. Would anyone like to put Srila Prabhupada's book up there? So, translation, please repeat. The material manifestation's ultimate particle, which is... say again. The material manifestation's ultimate particle, which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the atom. It exists always as an invisible identity, even after the dissolution of all forms. The material body is but a combination of such atoms, but it is misunderstood by the common man. Purport. The atomic description of the Srimad Bhagavatam is almost the same as the modern science of atomism. And this is further described in the Paramanu Vada of Kannada. In modern science also, the atom is accepted as the ultimate indivisible particle of which the universe is composed. Srimad Bhagavatam is the full text of all descriptions of knowledge, including the theory of atomism. The atom is the minute, subtle form of eternal time. Translation: the material manifestation's ultimate particle, which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the atom. It exists always as an invisible identity, even after the dissolution of all forms. The material body is but a combination of such atoms, but it is misunderstood by the common man. Om Ganatram Dasha Gananjana Salakaya Chakshumwa Tamjena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karati Vachalam Bhangam Langa Degarim Yat Kripatam Mahanbandi Shri Gurum Taranam Nasa Presha Badrisha Nicham Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhakti Bhagavati Naistiki. So Srila Prabhupada says here, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the source of all knowledge, including this theory of atomism. So this chapter is entitled Calculation of Time from the Atom. So Srimad Bhagavatam covers all knowledge. It's the most authoritative text, scripture, on all material and spiritual knowledge, giving all description of the material world and the spiritual world and everything that goes on in both creations. So the material, apart from the ultimate instructions in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the highest instructions, which is pure devotional service, that all living entities are eternally part and parcels of Krishna, as Krishna claims in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivaṁ jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasastini. Thank you. So all living entities are my eternal parts and parcels. So the living entity has this eternal birthright that he's an eternal loving servant of Krishna, whether in the human form, the animal form, insect, aquatic, demigod. And the business of human form of life, and Prabhupada says, nay, all living entities, is to revive their eternal relationship with Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. So this is the ultimate instruction, the highest instruction of the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. But also the Srimad Bhagavatam deals with so many other different subject matters, even astronomy, astrology, creation of the universes, karma, reincarnation, physics, chemistry, mathematics, time, description of the atom, calculation of time from the atom, material nature, spiritual nature, life on different planets, the individual soul, the Supreme Lord. So the atom is like the smallest creation, but as Srila Prabhupada describes here, is accepted as the ultimate indivisible particle of which the universe is composed. But Krishna is so wonderful that it's said that Krishna can become the smallest of the small or the largest of the large. So he can become so small he can even enter every single atom. Sometimes devotees say that Krishna, he can take a long walk from one side of the atom to the other. So this is the amazing thing that every word, every page, every verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to help us remember Krishna. All the rules and regulations of the scriptures hinge on these two things, to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada said that every word, even you read one word, one verse, one page, you can become fully Krishna conscious, fully God realized. Prabhupada would say even if people touch these books, their lives can become perfect. They can become free from more sins than they could commit in millions of lifetimes. What to speak if we fully purify our existence by immersing ourselves in the cultivation of this Bhagavatam knowledge and realization, and the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Worshipping the deities, offering so many nice prayers like we were just reciting the Dhammadarastika prayers, glorifying Krishna and Radha and all their associates in the spiritual world. Associating with devotees, taking prasadam, so many wonderful ways in which we can become purified and gradually become more Krishna conscious and gradually fully understand the messages given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada said you cannot understand this transcendental philosophy without becoming purified, just like you cannot understand the taste of honey by licking the outside of the jar. You have to take the lid off, you have to put the spoon in and put it into your mouth. You can understand exactly what the honey tastes like. So unless we take up this process of purification, Krishna consciousness, bhakti yoga, rendering unalloyed, uninterrupted devotional service to Krishna, Savai Pumsham Poroda Moyato Bhaktiya Dhoksachi Ahaitu Kyapatiyata Yatma Shupashirati. The supreme occupation of all living entities is to render loving devotional service under the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such devotional service must be completely unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So unless we undergo this process given by Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, chanting our rounds every day, like Srila Prabhupada said, anyone who chants on his japa beads 24 hours a day is considered the greatest yogi and meditator by practicing this bhakti yoga system. So we're chanting Hare Krishna, hearing the Bhagavatam class, worshipping Tulsi, Mangalarti, Guru Puja. Srila Prabhupada has given us like this whole program so that we can revive our original Krishna consciousness and become completely freed from all the mundane qualities that are checking us from understanding this transcendental knowledge: lust, greed, anger, envy, illusion, madness, etc. So Srila Prabhupada said the morning and evening programs in the temples are like the sandwich program. Like you have a sandwich, you make a sandwich, you put it together with 2 pieces of bread, a nice sandwich, and you put a wrapper around it, an elastic band. It stays together very nicely. So the morning program, the evening program are like 2 pieces of the bread, and our service through the day is like the filling in the sandwich. So very important. How can we expect to become Krishna conscious? How can we expect to be free from all the misconceptions that I am this body, that I can be happy with sense gratification, that I belong in this world, that I'm never going to die. So many illusions people have. How can we expect to be free from these illusions and attain the perfection of life and go back home, back to the spiritual world and develop our pure love for Krishna if we don't follow the process given by the pure devotee of the Lord? It's like Srila Prabhupada said, the half-hen philosophy, right? If the farmer thinks he can get the golden egg without feeding the chook, he doesn't want the botheration to feed the chook, so he cuts off the beak. How can you get the golden egg? You have to feed the chook. So if we want to achieve perfection in this process, we have to follow everything given by Srila Prabhupada. And I remember hearing from my spiritual master Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He said that out of the whole morning program, chanting our japa is the most important part, but equally important out of all the different parts of the morning program is the Bhagavatam class. To come and hear regularly this philosophy, because how can you actually become fixed up in this knowledge and realization unless you hear this philosophy repeatedly? We need to hear again and again, because especially in Kali Yuga our memories are very short. We forget very easily. So this I don't profess to understand this chapter, so that Srila Prabhupada goes into more detail and gives more purports. So I can't make too many comments on the calculation of time from the atom, but Srila Prabhupada said that we should not skip on any part of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This knowledge, he said, is like eating a pudding or a nice cake. Yesterday, a lot of us went to the memorial program for Prabhupada Das, great devotee of Srila Prabhupada from the early days. And there was wonderful prasadam there. There was amazing cake cooked by Driti Gopi, and there was pakoras and kachoris and curd sabji. Now wherever you ate like that cake from that side, this side, and the middle, it's all sweet. So this is like the Srimad Bhagavatam. Whether you read from the middle or the beginning or the end, it's all full of immense potency and purification and enlivening knowledge, transcendental knowledge. That even though we may not realize it just by hearing this philosophy, even though we may not really understand it, we're still getting so much purification and freed from more sins than we can commit in millions of lifetimes. That's the potency of reading these pages, hearing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, taking a mouthful of prasadam. We become free from unlimited sinful reactions. And we've all accumulated so many sinful reactions in many, many lifetimes. So we need, how much do we need this wonderful process of Krishna consciousness? So Srila Prabhupada, being the pure devotee of Krishna and the Acharya for the next 10,000 years, he has been empowered by Krishna to give his wonderful commentaries to all these verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. As Prabhupada said, these are not my words, they're Krishna's words. Prabhupada said, Krishna is speaking through me. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada said these verses in these translated literatures are my ecstasies. And Srila Prabhupada would say these books are the basis in which we build our whole foundation. The whole foundation of our Krishna conscious life is built upon these transcendental literatures. Books are the basis, purity is the force, utility is the principle. And what's the other one? Preaching is the essence. So, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 7, text 2, Jnanam te ham savijnanam idam vaksham visheshita. He says that I shall now declare to you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. So Krishna has given us all knowledge, numinous and phenomenal, material world and the spiritual world. And Srila Prabhupada has said also that to understand the process of Krishna consciousness and the spiritual world, we also have to understand how the material world works. So there's so many different energies in the material world. And understand that this place of material world is a temporary place. Because in illusion, most people are taking this place to be reality, to be the real world. And they don't understand anything beyond this material world. But the ultimate one of the most important instructions of the Bhagavatam is to understand that this place is temporary. It's a place of birth and death. Every living entity is subject to birth, death, old age and disease. Every living entity is subject to 6 changes of the material body: birth, growth, maintenance, producing offspring, dwindling and dying. Whether in a human being or an ant, a dog, a cat, a demigod, every living entity is going through this process. And to understand that the material world there's no happiness in the material world, on the material platform. Abrahma bhuvanaloka puna avatano jana mamo pecha takuntaya puna janmana vijate. Krishna says from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all a place of misery where repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my eternal abode never takes birth again in this material world. So materially speaking, we see even people who are very, very wealthy and rich and have such a big position in society. They may be queens, kings, presidents, famous music stars, etc. But none of them are actually happy. If they admit it, if they're honest, they will say they're not satisfied. They're always in anxiety. Even in where people go to enjoy, the nightclubs, the horse races, the pubs, big music events. People are not satisfied there. You know, look what happened just a few weeks ago. People trying to enjoy a music event in Israel, and some terrorists come along and kill a couple of hundred people. This place is not a safe place. Padam padam yat viparam natesham. There's danger at every step. But in Krishna consciousness, we can be happy even in this material world 24 hours a day. The devotees are called the happy haris, right? Because they're always smiling, they're always in ecstasy, just by simply this simple process. Chanting Hare Krishna, dancing, feasting on Krishna Prasadam, hearing the Bhagavatam philosophy associated with devotees, you can be actually happy 24 hours a day. It's practically experienced. Just like the Bhagavatam, the 11th canto says, Bhakti Pareshana Bhavo Virakti Anyatra Chaishatrika Eka Kala Prabhadimanasha Yatasna Tush Tushti Pushti Shud Apayona Gasham. Devotion to Krishna, direct transcendental knowledge of Krishna and everything to do with Krishna, and detachment from the material world, these things come automatically with every step we take in devotional service. And the example is Tushti Pushti Shud Apayona Gasham. Just like when you eat a nice meal of prasadam, you feel automatically pleasure, nourishment, and freedom from hunger, right? Has everyone experienced that? And it just gets better, right? Every day, prasadam gets better and better. Material happiness is hackneyed, becomes stale, becomes boring. And how long can you enjoy the senses for? You know, taking drugs or sex life. It's very limited. And you suffer the more you try to indulge. But the more we try to serve Krishna, engage in loving service to Krishna, the more it becomes ecstatic. Anandam bodhivardhanam, an ever-increasing ocean of transcendental bliss. So it's like night and day. Material happiness is like the night of ignorance and suffering, and spiritual happiness is like the bright sunshine. Just like in darkness, you may have good vision, but you cannot see anything. You cannot even see in front of your nose. But as soon as the sun comes up, even a faint light of sun on the horizon, then you can understand everything around you. What to speak of when the sun is fully in the sky. So that Krishna consciousness, when we take it up fully, it's like the sun has arisen in the heart. The sun of pure Krishna consciousness has arisen in the heart. And we can understand everything, who we are, who everyone else is, that everyone else is not this body, they're a spirit soul. They're all eternally Krishna's parts and parcels. And we can understand perfectly the material world. Even there's descriptions in the Srimad Bhagavatam of all the different planets in the material world and all the residents of those different planets. What to speak of descriptions of the spiritual world, Goloka, Vrindavan, the topmost planet, and all the other Vaikuntha planets. All the description is given there. The Srimad Bhagavatam is like a perfect manual on how to perfectly utilize this human form of life. Without this perfect manual, how can we understand what to do, how to act, who we are, where we're going, what's beyond death, who God is? You can't understand any of these things. Just like you get the latest iPhone, with it comes a manual how to use it. If you don't, some kid gets the iPhone, if he doesn't understand the manual, he may think, well, you know, I'll use that computer or that iPhone to crack my walnuts. You know, smash. Smash is $2,000 worth. So people are smashing their human form of life by misusing it in so many horrific, horrible, sinful ways. Meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex. So many sinful activities. People do not understand even that these activities are sinful. They do not understand there's a heavy reaction to pay, price to pay. Like the Bhagavatam says, for every hair on the back of a cow that's killed, if you take that flesh and eat it, you have to be killed in the same way in the future life. So it's very heavy, the reaction of karmic reactions of material nature. But Krishna consciousness is what everyone is actually looking for. Millions and billions of living entities, they're all looking for happiness, but they don't know where to look. But if we can attract them somehow, that's why Srila Prabhupada wanted the devotees to go out Harinam Sankirtan, book distribution, Prashadam distribution. Go outreach to the people. Of course, this is such a wonderful place that so many people are coming here. And it seems like, thousands and thousands of people coming here, but what is that compared to 25 million people in Australia? It's a very small percentage. So many people, they won't come here. We have to take the temple out to them. And just like us, many of us, we met devotees because devotees were very kind and compassionate, taking this knowledge, taking the holy name to meet us in the streets, in our forlorn condition, in our hopeless condition. Devotees came out and saved us. So we have to similarly save people by giving them the chance. Any one of those people, especially in the human form of life, can become wonderful devotees if they just have a chance. Just like I was reading this new book by Vijay Prabhu, the Minister of Book Distribution. It's called The Treasures of the Brihat Madanga. And Brihat Madanga is the greater chanting in the form of distributing the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So he was talking about even stories of a number of people who are almost committing suicide, and they met devotees and that saved their life. So there was one person, he was in a car and he was trying to commit suicide. He had a hose coming in from the exhaust pipe through the window, and all the windows wound up. And he had the accelerator, and he was just like, just flooring the accelerator. And devotee came along and asked him to wind down the window, and he said, "You just indicated to that I'm not interested, I'm busy." So the devotee went away, but then the devotee came back later and put just a little magazine, Krishna Reservoir of Pleasure, with a beautiful picture of Krishna on the front page on his windscreen. And the man, he was getting delirious from the carbon monoxide, and then he looked at that beautiful picture of Krishna and he decided he was inquisitive. So he opened the window and he pulled in the magazine and he started reading that magazine. He couldn't put it down. And then he realized, what am I doing? No, this is I shouldn't be committing suicide. I'll become a ghost according to this knowledge in my next life. So he gave up what he was doing, went to the temple and joined up. And there was another story of a devotee who he was in an affluent place of Ukraine, in the business sector of Ukraine. He was going office to office and he met this man, and the man said, "No, I cannot meet you now. I can't get the books now because I'm just about to meet the president of Ukraine. And we'll be going to some place where we're drinking vodka. So I cannot have these books in a place where we're going to be drinking vodka, because that'll be a great offence to these books." But he said, "Come back in 1 year's time and I'll take all your books and I'll give you twice as much money as you're asking for now." So the devotee came back. He wrote it down in his calendar and he came back to the day, 1 year's time. And he walked into the office and the man was on the phone, and the man just was so surprised the devotee had come back 1 year exactly to the day. He dropped the phone and he picked up his phone and finished the conversation. Then he talked with the devotee, he bought all the books, and he gave twice as much money as the devotees were asking last year. And there's so many amazing stories in there, so many wonderful stories. Wonderful book I would recommend everyone to read, of how people met devotees, how they got books, how they took up Krishna consciousness, how they came to the temple. We used to do, I haven't done it for years, but we used to do the big shows in Australia, like the Royal Sydney show, the Royal Melbourne show. We'd always be dodging the security guards. Sometimes there was up to 6 or 8 of us in the show. And 10 days, shows would go for 10 days or 2 weeks. We'd try and go every day. And I had a trolley and I'd have 3 or 4 boxes. I'd walk to the entrance, just pull the trolley in. I'd find some spot to hide the books, and a few hundred books would go out in a day. And sometimes the security guys would catch us and they'd escort us to the gate, but we had a trick that as soon as we got in the gate, we'd get an exit stamp. So when the security guard caught us, we just walk around to the other gate and show the exit stamp and walk straight back in. And they never saw where our books were because we always had the books hidden. So we just walked straight back to where the books were and keep working. But the guards, after a while, they cottoned on to that we had these stamps on our wrists. So when they walked us to the gate, sometimes they catch us three or four times in a day, but it'd usually be a different security guard. They didn't know we'd been caught already 2 times before. But then they worked out we've got these people have got stamps on their wrists, so they made us wash the stamp out before they kicked us out. And then, so then what we'd do, the next time we came in, we'd ask the person on the gate, can you give us a stamp there and one under there? So the security guy wouldn't see this one under there. So that was a wonderful place for distributing books. I remember the Melbourne show, the security was so slack down there, they never caught us. And sometimes there were 6 devotees in a line on the main road going round. And if they didn't get caught by one devotee, the people, then the next devotee would catch them and sell them a book. So if you have the determination and the boldness and the time, then these are wonderful. Take advantage of these wonderful places where there's thousands of people to give Krishna consciousness to. Just like there's the Om festival coming up. I think devotees from here are doing catering, right? Yeah. So wonderful opportunity. So much prasadam can go out. I'm not sure if you can do kirtan there, but if you can, that would be a wonderful opportunity to kirtan, have a book table. I met a devotee called Vijay Krishna. He's a famous kirtan leader in Bali. He did big kirtan over there. He said he's going to be performing kirtan on stage at the Om festival, and I think he's coming here also to do kirtan. So if anyone has the opportunity, please go out for these wonderful events where there's tens and thousands or hundreds of thousands of people and try to give them Krishna consciousness. So now is a special month, Kartik. We should increase our vows, try to read Srila Prabhupada's books more, chant more rounds, do more service, associate more with the devotees, serve the devotees more, take more prasadam or take less prasadam, come to the temple more. These processes are very, very powerful. And as alongside trying to serve the deities and serve Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, we should especially try and render service to the devotees more and try and think of how wonderful the devotees are. Of course, we have to be kind to all living entities, but especially we want to make nice friendships with devotees and always think of their wonderful service they're doing, how many nice qualities they have, how they're so sincere in their service. So, and as we hear, Krishna's devotees are even more dear than himself. So we cannot, the secret of success to really understand Krishna consciousness in this whole philosophy is to become dear to the devotees, to be kind to the devotees and try to serve the devotees. Just like the example, love thy master, love thy dog. If you go to a stranger's door, you don't know him. Usually, if you knock on his door, he opens the door, you probably shut the door in your face if you don't know him. We all have that experience from doing door-to-door Sankirtan book distribution. But if he has a dog outside and you're patting his dog, when he comes out, the master's more inclined to say, what do you want? Who are you? Like that. So it's easier to get to know the master. So it's nice to, like the 6 loving exchanges, we should really practice these amongst devotees. Giving gifts, receiving gifts, revealing our mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, serving prasadam, receiving prasadam. Rupa Goswami says these 6 loving exchanges are the best ways to develop our loving relationships with the devotees, which can help us develop our love for Krishna. So recently I sent some, and I'll read you a couple of replies, I sent some milk sweets to some devotees of different parts of Australia, some milk sweets, some of the wonderful milk sweet burfis and sandesh from Radha Govardhan to different devotees, and I'll read you their replies. So this is one devotee, Dayasara Prabhu. He's a Prabhupada disciple. Does anyone know Dayasara Prabhu? Manibanda Wood. Sadhu Mataji knows him. So he was, around from the early days. He was temple president in Adelaide years ago. But at the moment he's not so active. He's probably struggling somewhat in his Christian consciousness. He's pretty alone in a little town in South Australia. So I found out his address just from Facebook by seeing his Facebook posts. I asked him for his address. I sent him some milk sweets, and this is what he said. Haribol Rupa Raghunatha Prabhu, I received your wonderful package in the mail yesterday, Friday morning. However, I didn't open it right away. I was waiting until I was chilled and finished all my daily mode of passion, rajas duties. I was sitting in the late afternoon on my front veranda when my neighbour and good friend Paul stopped by. After talking for a while, I remembered your gift. Your spirit of always giving Srila Prabhupada's mercy to others was reflected to me. I opened the package and shared the sandesh and burfi with Paul. They were exquisite. Paul especially loved the sandesh. Then we started talking about the Hare Krishna devotees and Srila Prabhupada. Excuse me. I've known Paul for 10 years, but never knew about his appreciation of our movement. He then told me how when he was a homeless teenager, living in London, he survived by eating at our Food for Life. Excuse me. So he survived by eating at our Food for Life free food centre. And then he says, thanks heaps, Prabhu. Here on the edge of the outback of South Australia, I'm sorry. So here on the edge of the outback of South Australia, Sri Radha Govardhan's mercy touched a dear friend. Dandavats from Dayasara. P.S. P.S. The incense was really wonderful. So that was really nice. Just bear with me, I'll read a couple more. So this is from a godbrother of mine, Nakula. If I can find it. Right. Oh, here's another one from Sundarananda Prabhu in Cairns. He runs the samosa stall for 20 years in the markets in Cairns. If you ever go to Cairns, please go and try his samosas and chutney and drinks. Very, very nice prashadam. Dear Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. Orgalois to Srila Prabhupada. I hope you and your family are well. I picked up the Maha sweets from the PO this morning. Thank you very much for the kind and thoughtful prashadam, mercy, and for the card with heartfelt words. This is a very loving exchange, and I really appreciate it. I also love your association and respect and admire your dedication to Srila Prabhupada Society. I hope we can chant and dance together sometime, and I pray Krishna blesses you and your family with pure devotion in this lifetime. Thanks again for the kind mercy and for thinking of us, your loving friend and servant, Sundar. And I'll see if I can find one more. Okay, this is from a devotee in Adelaide. His name is Das Avatar. Does anyone know Das Avatar?
He used to do furniture removals.
Yeah, he's a truck driver for many years. He said once he drove devotees' things from Adelaide all the way to New Govardhana. Yeah. He actually joined here at New Govardhana. He joined just after Prabhupada left. Says, HG Rupa Raghunatha Prabhu, thanks so much for the beautiful Janmashtami Mahasweets. I have no idea what made you think of me, nor how you got my address. Big surprise, your servant Das Avatar. So, Srila Prabhupada says an interesting, in the front of every Bhagavatam, in the preface, I think it's a preface, Prabhupada says, he quotes this verse, Prahlad Maharaj, Koma atiret padno daman Bhagavatam iha, that one who is sufficiently intelligent should use this human form of life, even from the tender age of childhood, to engage in loving devotional service to Krishna. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can guarantee one all perfection. But Srila Prabhupada in the front of the Bhagavatam, he gives his own translation to this verse. He says, disparity in human society is due to lack of principles and a godless civilization. There is God the Almighty, from whom everything emanates, by whom everything is maintained, and from whom everything is merged to rest. Material science has tried to find the ultimate source very insufficiently, but it's a fact that there is one ultimate source of everything. This ultimate source is explained rationally and authoritatively in this beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he quotes this famous verse from 1.5.11, Tadvara Vishargo Janataga Viplavo. On the other hand, that literature, which is full of description of the transcendental name, form, fame and pastimes of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation full of transcendental words directed towards bringing a revolution in the impious lives of this misdirected civilization. Such literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. So this was Srila Prabhupada's main purpose for translating these verses and giving his purports in the Srimad Bhagavatam, was to create a revolution in the impious lives of this whole world's misdirected civilization. The Srimad Bhagavatam is sometimes described as the more brilliant. Well, there's one verse describes it's more brilliant than millions of suns. Because it's Krishna. It's non-different from Krishna. Because everything to do with Krishna, Krishna's name, form, fame, pastimes, qualities, creations, devotees, service, is all described in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's the literary incarnation of Krishna. So very, very powerful. We may not understand, it's not a cheap thing to understand the potency of this Srimad Bhagavatam and hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. But the more we go on hearing, the more we'll become purified and gradually understand fully the deep meanings within these pages. So I'll finish there. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Do we have another microphone available?
What ways can you give people Krishna consciousness?
What was the first word? What
ways
give
people Krishna consciousness?
Like Srila Prabhupada has given us the best ways, the most powerful ways, is through distributing these books to other people, going out and chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Nam Sankirtan, distributing prasadam to people. And just like even many people, new people coming here all the time to the farm, this is the best ways that we can attract people here, giving them prasadam all the time. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Kirtans, letting them come and hear this philosophy in the classes, encouraging them to read the books. You want to?
Was that always? benefit about Krishna consciousness?
Well, there's many ways you can become their friend, like, get to know them and become their good friend and tell them how much you love Krishna, how much you love to come to the temple, tell them all about your Krishna conscious family, and you can tell them, what are your favourite things, favourite prasadam to eat, right? And tell them all about Gurukul, how you love Gurukul, and tell them how the temple is such a wonderful place, and yeah, you can ask them if they can come and help you in some service maybe you might be doing.
I don't know.
Is there a way you want to help spread Krishna consciousness?
Well, I think it's
Which
doing
one?
hard now.
Put the microphone up a bit.
I think it's doing hard now.
That's very good. Good realization. So you want to come out in the next Harinam? Do you go out in the Harinam sometimes?
So,
On Sunday? Saturday? Actually, I've been thinking I don't go on a lot of Harinam, but I'd like to go on more. And I really love the Sunday Harinam. Sometimes I take the kids out. And I've heard this Saturday night Harinams in Service Paradise. I haven't been on many of those, but I heard they're really ecstatic. And I was thinking, Krishna willing, I would like to do once a month a Harinam Sankirtan festival where we set up a book table. We have prasadam going all day long. We have Harinam going all day long. We did it years ago here. We did 12 hours one day and we did 12 hours the next day. It was 24 hours over 2 days. And different devotees came. Your husband came. I remember he came and chanted for a while. Different devotees can come, and some devotees can come for an hour or two, lead kirtan. If some devotees want to stay all day, they can stay all day. So I was thinking that'd be a nice thing to do. Once a month we can do a big Harinam Sankirtan festival where we have books, prasadam.
In town.
Anytime. We did it in Byron Bay at that time. Toowoomba, Service Paradise, Lismore, Nimbin. We did in Sydney at that time. We did 24 hours over 2 days in front of Town Hall and Hyde Park. So I think I'd like to start that and maybe once a week do an 8-hour.
Fantastic.
So we can talk about that plan more.
Distribute books in the morning now? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was talking to that devotee in Bali, Vijay Krishnan. He may, if he has time, he may come on the street the next week or two and join us. Any other questions?
and also, how can you help living beings like animals,
Insects,
insects, and
frogs,
frogs and stuff like that?
the frog in the well, Dr. Frog in the well. Well, Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya said that the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra can be heard even by the trees. What to speak of animals and insects? Even the trees can get, the immovable objects like the trees can get unlimited benefit by hearing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's the best way you can benefit all living entities. And also prasadam, sometimes there's prasadam left over or gets thrown out, you can feed it to other living entities like the cows or different insects by putting it in the bushes, like at home you may have leftover prasadam, you can't eat it all, you put it in the bushes somewhere for all those other living entities, and it's said they'll get a human birth in their next life just by eating prasadam. It's pretty powerful, isn't it? Something else you want to say? Last thing, you have a question? Take the microphone so everyone on air can hear too.
I just want to add that when we have very, very large programs and there's
Toowoomba.
too much prasadam and we have leftovers, I often take as much as I can, distribute to other people, and my dog, who's gone vegetarian, will take
Jai, very well.
yeah.
Very nice. There's a whole book you can read by Janananda Goswami, Animals in Krishna Consciousness. Many stories about dogs, cats, worms, cows who took prasadam, got the mercy of kirtan. Some of them, the animals came to hear Bhagavatam class. There used to be a dog here called Hari Rama, used to come to Bhagavatam class, sitting outside. In Malaysia there was a cow, used to sit outside the temple hearing Bhagavatam class and sit down with the devotees taking prasadam. She'd with one lick of her tongue, she'd lick all the prasadam up, then she'd be trying to get the other devotees prasadam. There's amazing stories like that. And because they're all devotees too. So a devotee has to see devotee sees like that he wants to give them all Krishna consciousness. Jai, Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hare. Please bring us some prasada from Toowoomba, and we can give you some prasada from here to take up to the devotees there too. Krishna.